Juma Mubarak, good morning to you and a warm welcome from our main studios in Welingara. Greetings from wherever you might be this morning. This is the Good Morning Africa program coming to you live on iAfrica TV, and of course I am your host Julde Njie Soare. Mbokk yi ñu leen di nuyu di leen dalalaat fii si beneen édition yi Good Morning Africa program comme luñ ko dee baaxoo di defee saa su ne rek si suñ ay jotaay dañ dee am suñ studio stories si newspaper review ak tamit dañ leen dee invital fii guest yoo xam ne yu am solo la yu am maana discuss yoo xam ne waxtaanee loo xam ne daal dafa am solo torop ak xew-xew jamono mboolem loo xam ne daal mu ngi xapun si biir réew mi ak si bitim réew ñu leen di nuyuwaat di leen jaajëfal lool si ànd bi si kolute bi ak tamit si safo bi. This morning we have very interesting stories like we always do in our Good Morning Africa program. We have the Gambia Armed Forces, and of course they train more than 200 of their students, to various fields, considering the fact that the December 4th presidential election is on the corner. And of course, the windstorm disaster caused a lot of, issues, especially in school-going children. There are schools where the roofs of their schools were damaged, and of course they find it very difficult to return back to school. These and others coming on your way on the Good Morning Africa program. And of course this morning, Friday is always a very nice day. It's always a very interesting day, where we invite people, of different people to come talk to us about pertinent issues happening in the country and of course around the world. So today also is going to be very, very interesting, but you just have to stay tuned with us to know what we have to offer for you this morning. So our first story for this morning is about the windstorm disaster which affected school in Mintekunda Lower Basic School. We are going straight with that story this morning because more than 200 students have forced out of school after a natural disaster brought down the classroom structures of Mintekunda Lower Basic School. The windstorm last Wednesday led to the death of 10 people, with more than 3,000 affected, according to the National Disaster Management Agency. The destruction of this school in Upper River region came at a period when the Gambia was striving to expand its educational centers across the country. iAfrica TV turned the microphone to these school-going children who expressed their impatience with the situation. We have more of that in this report.
Famundaga is a 13-year-old boy preparing ahead of his final academic examination to earn him a place in the 5th grade. In normal circumstance, it is a matter of putting on his uniform to write the promotional assessment before moving one step further in the academic ladder. The windstorm has, however, presented a very uncertain situation for pupils in Mintekunda Lower Basic School. Looking at the debris of his classroom structures, Famundaga does not see a way out for proper completion of the 2021 academic year.
At these schools, we are unable to continue with our work. We are supposed to kickstart our exams, but this is not possible due to the distraction caused by the wind. Our exam process is brought to a halt.
Many children like Famundaga are forced to take a break in this crucial period. The unforeseen situation is likely to prolong the period of study for these learners, as attested in the view of Famundaga's teacher, Modu Jaju.
Since on Wednesday we are not having classes. We stop automatically having classes. This happened in our present here. We were in the house and then the roof left us, and then when we were standing there, it was definitely trouble.
Whilst the state of hopelessness surfaces, there are students who are optimistic of an immediate return to class. As Mr. Jaju explains, some of these young learners still report to school despite the instruction from authorities asking them to stay home until a way out is figured.
We expected, because our exams are totally damaged. All our papers, if you get inside my room, all the papers were wet and then they are all damaged. So I don't think right now we expect the government should come to our aid and then help us, because so that we can continue normal business.
The situation with Mintekunda Lower Basic School boils down to the homelessness of staff of the school. Teachers are forced out of the school campus, seeking shelter in open classrooms infested with insects and animals. Rainy season is cherished by most developing countries in Africa, particularly the Gambia, due to its agricultural productivity by rainwater. This blessed season, however, comes along with heartbreaking impacts of windstorms that threatens lives and properties. The death of 10 people from the Wednesday's rainstorm and its surrounding consequences invited President Barrow to the most affected region of the North Bank. For Africa News, Sohna Tunkara.
waaw mu ngi noonu kooku moo nekk soxna Tunkara si report boobu noonu xam ngeen ne fan yu romba noonu fii in the Gambia here dafa amoon fii ngelaw bu bëri ngelaw boo xam ne daal dafa def yàquteef yu bëri te yàquteef yooyu noonu sax am nañu si ñàkk seen bakken tamit ñu bëri ñàkk seen kër yi because fu mu nekk nii dafa yàq kër yu bëri ñu bëri ñàkk si say ay bakkan ñeneen ñi tamit yàq seen bagage yu bëri daana di yàq foofu noonu loolu mu nekk loo xam ne daal dafa doy waar torop loolu moo tax nag ay Africa ñu dem di neemeeku si dëkk bi ñu xool fan la yàquteef ak nit ñi lan lañ nekk di jànkuwanteel fu mu nekk nii waaye fu ñu demoon moo nekk Mintekunda Lower Basic School and si Mintekunda Lower Basic School xale yu fa doon jàng ñoom daal ñoom ñu ngi ñaax nit ñi ñoo dimbale gaay because fu mu nekk nii gaay amatuñ fu ñoo jàngee te xam nañ ne jàng dafa am solo torop surtout ma si ndaw so moo taxit daal am na solo torop daal pour nit ñi jàppale gaay surtout ma school si ak école yi ñoo xam ne daal ñu ngi jàngale ndaw ñi because ndaw yi ñoo nekk magi ëllëg donte ne sax ñoo nekk ndaw yi tey man loolu laa dee wax saa su ne rek because nit koo xam ne daal ndaw boo xam ne daal danga kooku moo nekk magi ëllëg grooming bi dafa war a start tey yarin bi dafa war a start tey so moo taxit ma ne nag always dama dee wax ne ndaw yi ñoo nekk magi tey nekk magi ëllëg because tey su baaxut ëllëg du mun a baax tey suñ jàppalewut gaay ñu jàppale gaay ñu yar gaay yarin boo xam ne daal dafa nekk si yoon ëllëg gaay duñ nekk mag yoo xam ne ñooñu lañ bëgg a gaay ñu nekk moo taxit daal mu am solo torop pour ñu jàppale gaay school si yoo xam ne daal am nañ problème si ngelaw boo xam ne daal def na yàquteef si school yi dañ leen war a jàppale ñu defar school yi loolu am na solo torop pour mun a gaay mun a continuer gaay seen jànga bi si story boobu noonu rek ñu woy ñu wax si leneen because President Adama Barrow has said that his government is more than ever before determined to promote politics of development over politics of sentiment. He spoke against what he called politics of insults, tribal lines, and alienation in the country. According to Barrow, as the population enjoys absolute freedom of expression, they should be cautious in the application of those rights. Details in this report.
Politics, which is supposed to reflect societal values of the Gambia, is arguably marred by hate speech among political figures and subsequently their followers. Key bearers of these accusations are militants of the National People's Party and those of the United Democratic Party. President Barrow, who presides over the laying of the foundation for the construction of the Kiamwest Road on Monday, expresses his commitment to change the narrative.
Development politics, ndelo politics ifanga ole nadija. Politics kuma kuntam fo. Politics nyobaneno.
Politics of development is the kind of politics we bring here. Senseless politics, politics of abusive language, politics based on tribalism, politics in which you profile people, politics where you tell people you are a Fula from Guinea, you tell some you are from Casamas or you are from Senegal. That is the kind of politics I want to end in the Gambia. Freedom allows people the opportunity to speak, act, and pursue happiness without unnecessary external restrictions. All freedom requires compromise between the rights of individuals and the goals and obligations of the state. But for Mr. Barrow, his government has offered extraordinary freedom to Gambians. The freedom Gambians attain in my government is extraordinary. Today, journalists are free and talk anyhow they like. They host programs which are named after the president. They say everything and walk home to sleep without problems. That too is extraordinary. But I will tell you one thing. The kind of politics I see in the Gambia on the 4th of December, if you are not careful, I swear, if you are not careful until you make mistake, you will light torches during the day looking for President Barrow and you will not see me. There is growing concern over what is taught as abuse of democratic principles among politicians and their supporters, especially on the social media platforms. It is common to come across audios containing hate speech from one political group to another and sometimes insults directed to individuals or groups in the name of political activism. Authorities such as the police have always cautioned the public to take an active role against any situation that is likely to create chaos in the upcoming presidential election. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmad Toure.
waa kooku moo nekk nguuri réew mi président Adama Barrow moom nag lu mu doon wax foofu noonu moo nekk ne moom gouvernement am bi nguuram bi dañoo def seen kenti lay kattan pour génne politics boo xam ne daal pour saagante la politique yi ŋàññi wante si biir réew mi fii te mu ne moom nguuram bi lu ñoo promote ne moo nekk politics of development moo nekk ne comme dem kanam like development ñi seen koom-koom mi yomba ñi ñu am jàmm si réew mi infrastructure ñu dem si kanam loolu moo nekk development moo dafa bari loolu moo gën ñi di ŋàññi wante fale saaga wante fo mbooleem boo xam ne daal am na ŋàññi wante am na saagante rek dëkk boobu noonu pour mu dem si kanam dafa jafe torop because saa su ne rek every time ñi bugg a focus on development ñi kii su saage ñi loolu la ñoo focus on rather than ñu focus on loo xam ne daal moo yóbbu réew mi si kanam so loolu am na solo torop te lii fu mu nekk ni time bi time bu ko waxee sax moo gën a am solo because fu mu nekk ni ŋàññi wante yi saagante yi dañ bari torop foo xam ne daal léegi ñu bari dañ dee wax ne sax dañ ragal pour ñu dem si social media bi moo nekk Facebook maanaam WhatsApp maanaam Twitter yi nii pour because fu mu nekk ni daal mboolem loo munti wax rek nit ñi dañ ko dee jël ñu def ko biri politics te mboolem loo wax rek nit ñi dañ la dee mun a saagee si loolu noonu so saaga bi dafa dem fu mu nekk ni léegi daal ñu bari daal xamatuñ kii ne kilifa la kii du kilifa dañoo saaga rek because of politics so moo taxit nag mu am solo pour président Barrow mu génna moo nekk nguuri réew mi mu génna mu waxtaanee ñi si loolu noonu pour ñi mun a bàyyi seen xel si loolu torop because dafa nekk loo xam ne daal Gambia bi ñu ñoo ko moom te ñu rek ñoo ko mun a defar kenn du génna feneen o kenn du ñëw feneen mu ñëw mu ne ok xalal ma defaral leen seen dëkk bi ñu rek a ko mun a defar moo taxit nag mu am solo lool pour ñu booloo nekk benn ñu booloo nekk ndeg bàyyi pour ñu defar suñ dëkk bi Gambia bi dafa tuuti torop so moo taxit nag dañ war a booloo nekk benn ñu defar ko moo gën ŋàññi wante bi fii saagante bi fële ak loolu yëpp jaru ko fi politics bi dafa ñëw mu dem waaye Gambia ak Gambien si ñuñ dañoo stay fii lañ nekk fii lañ juddu fii lañ moom te fii moo nekk loo xam ne daal lañ fi mun a am lu nekk because fii lañ moom suñ demee feneen sax moo leen dañoo struggle waaye sometimes pour ñu am foofu noonu paper sax dafa nekk problème dafa jël for centuries but here in the Gambia fii lañ moom fii lañ dëkk fii lañ juddu so fii lañ war a tiitaroo because fii lañ moom te fii tamit lañ war a defar after that story we just move on and talk about another issue because the Gambia Armed Forces they've been training their personnel, towards the, December 4th presidential election, which is very crucial. So we just quickly look at that one because the operation to restore sanity by National Guards of the Gambia Armed Forces has on Thursday briefed the media on its patrol activities since the operation was launched a month ago. The event was held at the Guards Battalion in Fajara Barracks. During their operations, 12 cases have been reported to different police stations, ranging from stealing, armed robbery, bribery, among other related crimes. Details in this report.
Few months ago, the country was grappling with many crimes and criminal activities ranging from murder and armed robbery to rape and other dubious acts. In that regard, the Gambia National Guard launched an operation called Restore Sanity to complement the efforts of the Gambia Police Force's Operation Zero Crime Initiative, all geared towards reducing the criminal activities in the country. The Operation Restore Sanity clocks 1 month since it was launched in June. Lieutenant Colonel Ahmad B. Bojan, the Operation Restore Sanity Task Force Commander, explains some of the activities and types of arrests conducted during their patrols.
We've also reacted to a series of incidences ranging from attempted robbery, public nuisance, and stealing. All those incidents, we've reacted to 23 of those. Late night calls, our patrol teams will react to those incidences. And so far, so good. The number of arrests, the stealing cases, who were later handed over to the police are 3. The public disorder, nuisance, for instance, fighting, 4 cases that we have handed over to the police. Drug-related matters, those who have direct connection to the issues that we have because it's evidence-based. So those who are directly related to the drug-related matters are 3 who we have handed over to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. And of course, illegal trafficking of timber, 1, and of course, attempted bribery, 1.
Lieutenant Colonel Bojang also explains the mode of operations of the task force, which affects some of the arrests conducted.
The mission on task force was assigned of the task force includes to conduct patrols within Banjul Municipality, Kanifing Municipality, and the West Coast region as part of the first phase of the operation. We will also establish vehicle checkpoints to search people and persons of interest. We are also to defend hotspot areas that are known to us and reported by the civil authorities. We should also liaise with the Gambian National Army and the Gambian Navy for possible arrest of offenders. We are to liaise with the commander of Operation Zero Crime for coordination.
The first phase of the Operation Restore Sanity Task Force has conducted 23 arrests, ranging from drug trafficking and armed robbery to stealing and creating public disorder, among other criminal activities. As the operation is geared towards restoring peace and order for 3 months on the first phase, the task force commander says the prolonged operation depends on either the increase or decrease of crime rates in the country. The task force is also calling for the cooperation of the public to report any dubious acts that threatens the peace of the country, saying it will further make their work easier. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Mariama Cham loolu am na solo torop Operation Restore Sanity in the Gambia loolu mu nekk loo xam ne daal am na solo torop ñi ñu bari ñu ngi wax ne fu mu nekk ni crime rate dafa increase moo nekk dafa yokku si biir réew mi waaye gis nañ ne Operation Zero Crime Campaign, Operation Restore Sanity in the Gambia, all these operations are geared towards making sure that the Gambia is secure and it is safe haven. It is safe for Gambians and it is not a safe haven for criminals. So that is very, very important there for, the army personnel and, of course, the Gambia Police Force to work towards that in making sure that the lives and livelihoods of people, lives and properties of the people are actually protected in the country. With that, we just quickly move on and talk about another issue because 40 officers of the Gambia Police Force have graduated on Thursday at the Police Intervention Unit ground in Kanifing following a 3-week intensive training on public order management by the German Police Support Team in the Gambia. The new team, called the Special Intervention Unit, is the first of its kind in the history of the Gambia Police Force. Binta Jallo has the rest of that story.
The COVID-19 pandemic, the German government continues supporting the Gambian police force. With December 4th presidential election fast approaching, a unit comprising of 40 individuals were trained on public order management. The Special Intervention Unit is a new implementation platoon at the Police Intervention Unit, and these officers are brought together to manage violent protests and riots and also arrest violent protesters under the confinement of the human rights law. The SIU training covered the areas of basic formation on tactical hand signs, movement of team as a single unit or part of a platoon, self-defense, batting techniques, arrest and handcuff skills, usage of different tactics depending on the behavior of the crowd, usage of personal protection equipment, among other valuable tactics. The lead trainer, Stefan Hartz, said the German police support team in the Gambia will equip these officers to ensure they execute their job efficiently and effectively.
We will hand over, like spoken, as soon as possible 50 better protected body systems, new helmets, and some more equipment which is also used in Germany to avoid to get hurt in this special task. On top, a 40-feet shipment container full with equipment like 700 helmets, about 200 new pairs of boots, buttons, and among others, is almost ready to be shipped to the Gambia.
In delivering her keynote address, the German Charge d'Affaires of the German Embassy in the Gambia said the initiative is timely.
This is the first course of its kind here in the Gambia. And it marks the establishment of the Special Intervention Unit here in the Gambia. And I think this is a very, very important step, also looking at the upcoming elections. We all want these elections to be peaceful, and we also want the freedom of demonstrations, the freedom of speech to be possible here in the Gambia. And I think well-trained police officers can help ensure this.
The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Mamadou Sow, outlined the intentions that they have for the unit.
We intend to provide you 2 AMRA level 9 troop carrying vehicles, state-of-the-art, most sophisticated vehicle carrier to ensure that the operations on both land, you will have superiority of both land and air superiority. We will provide you also an aerial vehicle, a 17-hour flying unmanned aerial vehicles equipped with the state-of-the-art latest technology. Infrared 90 degrees angle cameras that are telepathic will read heat signatures, facial recognitions, day and night, to ensure that you are on your task as far as the police is concerned.
One of the participants said the training helped them immensely in the level of their profession.
Since the beginning of this magnificent training undertaken by the German police support team, our level of professionalism has increased, especially in the areas of POM, as public order management, such as the basic formation on tactical hand signs, movement of teams in single, double column, and platoon formation.
The German police support team in the Gambia reaffirmed its commitment to support the Gambia police force. The course that took 6 weeks to complete in Germany was conducted by the Special Intervention Unit in the Gambia within 3 weeks. The participants demonstrated some of the skills that were taught during the 3 weeks course. The officers were also awarded with certificates of completion. For iAfrica News, Binta Jallo.
Wa Binta Jallo report bobu nonu amna solo torop German support team be more than the support more nekane the Gambia police force, you know, in their efforts to making sure that they, you know, restore peace in this country. Considering the fact that we are in an election year and elections comes with a lot of things, so it is only important or prudent for the security forces to be, you know, to build the capacities of the security forces in, you know, making sure that they execute their duties effectively and efficiently. So that is very, very important there, you know, considering the fact that all that is happening in the country of recent, you know, tribalism, you know, hate speech, insults and all that. But it's only important that, you know, the security are trained, build their capacity so that they can, if anything arise of, you know, any violent things that should, you know, come, you know, God forbid, you know, they can, you know, professionally handle those cases that are happening in this country. God forbid. I mean, we don't pray for that. Gambia is the smiling coast of West Africa, and I hope and believe that we will all, you know, play our part in making sure that that peace and, you know, peace that we have in this country, we will jealously safeguard that peace that we have in this country. With that, we quickly move on because our guest is already here. Like I said, today we are going to have a very, very interesting guest this morning to talk about pertinent issues that are happening in this country, what's trending in the Gambia, and we all know what is trending right now. Because let's just move on quickly and talk about this thing, because the government of the Gambia has on Wednesday signed a joint cooperation agreement with the government of Sierra Leone to boost economic ties. The cooperation agreement is signed by Gambia's Foreign Minister Mamadou Tangara and Sierra Leonean Minister of Internal Affairs David Panda. The initiative is expected to capture various areas, including economic development, financial services, security, among a host of other issues. Details in this report.
The relationship between the Gambia and Sierra Leone started way back during colonial era, as the two countries were administered by the British. In order to further strengthen the already cordial relations, the two countries have agreed on a joint cooperation agreement signed on Wednesday. According to Sierra Leone's Minister of Internal Affairs, David Panda Noah, the cooperation has been signed on various reasons, including exclusion of residence and permits between the two countries.
We've signed that joint communication, which will involve various things, cooperation on various things, economy, the finance, financial services, security, defense, agriculture, trade, and various other host of other things inclusive of that. And so we're looking forward to this. Already we've had like 2 MOUs, one looking at residential permits for both people in the Gambia and Sierra Leone to do away with that. So we're looking at that. We haven't signed that. We're going to discuss it with our various leaders. And then also another one on trade, an MOU that was being signed in 2006 but never been implemented. And so we're looking to see what we can do with that.
Mr. Noah said although the ties between the countries was there but has not been signed, as a result, there is need to put it under signature to make it stronger than before.
And we are here because of a discussion between the two presidents, the president of the Gambia and the president of Sierra Leone, where they discussed our relationships. We have had a long-standing relationship with the Gambia since colonial times. We have had friendships, we've had business transactions between our two peoples, but we have never cemented it. We've never put it to precipitate something that should come out of it, make it stronger. And so His Excellency, the President of Gambia, Adama Barrow, and His Excellency, the President of Sierra Leone, Julius Madabio, thought it fit that we should find a way of creating something out of this relationship.
The High Commissioner of the Gambia to Sierra Leone, Aluki Jame, described the move as a momentous, echoing the benefits that both countries could gain together.
This is a momentous occasion because for the first time in the history and in the relationship and the ties that these two countries have, which is very historic and very rich, but the visit today has concretized that in a way which is the first of its type.
The anticipated MOU is aimed at the cancellation of residential payment of permits between the two countries. Once the agreement is fruitful, Gambians living in Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans living in the Gambia will be exempted from the payment of residential permits. According to Honorable Jammeh, the Immigration Department of the two nations will look for possibilities to foster the signing of the proposed agreement as soon as possible. For African News, Sahna Tunkara.
Welcome to Staples, the office superstore for all your office needs, office furnitures, office equipment, office kitchenwares, office stationery. Get all you need for your workplace. Office desks, chairs, workstation, conference table, computers, printers, monitors, sofas, filing cabinets, water dispensers, microwaves, ovens, air coolers, and lots more. Staples, the best superstore in the Gambia.
Our sun is running out. Our smiling coast is losing its beauty. Our women are losing their gardens. And our children are losing their future. Our communities infested with mosquitoes and crocodiles are attacking and killing our children. Communities are in a state of devastation in exchange for new cities, new buildings, and new roads. Sand mining is not an alternative for the Gambia. Sand dredging is the solution. SMJ is a Gambian-owned company located at Denton Bridge. At SMJ, we dredge fine sand from sea without destruction. Sand dredged from sea is the best solution to keep developing our infrastructure to last a lifetime. SMJ is for a better future. Stop by Denton Bridge. Call us today on +220 277 7753.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put in to constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Public notice: abusive language on radio stations. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, has notes with significant concern the proliferation of abusive, uncouth and incendiary language on some radio stations in the country. Whilst the authority has continually advocated for the development of a free, independent and democratic media space, certain actions will not be tolerated. The authority, in its drive to ensure media plurality, welcomes interactive radio programming in the form of call-ins and online loops. These platforms, however, are degenerating into platforms for abuse through the constant use of insults and unsavory language antithetical to the cultural norms and values of Gambian society. In addition, it has come to the attention of the authority that some stations are playing uncensored music with graphic language using peak daytime hours especially. Broadcasters are hereby requested to actively moderate call-ins and live programs. Section 238 subsection 1 of the IC Act 2009 requires licensees to store sound and video recordings of all programs for a period of 3 months. The authorities shall conduct moderating visits in this regard to all licensees to ensure adherence to these provisions. As a final note of caution, all radio station owners are hereby warned to devise programming as per the tenets of the IC Act, individual radio station license and the Broadcasting Code of Conduct. Failure to do so shall result in enforcement action against default licensees as per the provisions of the PURA Act, IC Act and relevant broadcasting regulations. Whilst the authority remains resolved to actively monitor the content of all broadcasting stations, the general public is also urged to report any instances of the use of abusive and foul language on any broadcast platform by calling the authority's toll-free line 148 free of charge. Compliance by all broadcast providers is expected. PURA, working towards equity in development through professionalism and partnership.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriMoney just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called Taft Twins. The Taft Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. Taft Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.